The mission of this episode, if you choose to accept it, is to give you the tools and strategies that you need to have an amazing term 3. Because you, my friend, deserve to have a term where you feel cool, calm, and in control and ready to celebrate all that you do. Do you accept this mission?
Hi, I'm Selena Woodward, and I'm an English and drama teacher, university lecturer, and with edufolios.org, a big-time reflective practitioner. So how can reflective practice help you grow your teaching skills, fall in love with your profession all over again, and help you nail accreditation and teacher registration with less stress and less work? Well, this is the Reflective Teacher Podcast.
Welcome to the Reflective Teacher Podcast. As always, I am your host, accreditation coach, Selena Woodward. How are you? I know that most of us now are on school holidays. Yay! Oh my God. I hope that you are taking some time to rest, relax, and recover. This podcast is most definitely inspired by a goal to make sure that term 3 is nothing like term 2, especially if you were feeling overwhelmed, tired, and over it, my friend. Now, before we move forward with this episode, I want to take a moment to congratulate every single one of our newly accredited, highly accomplished, lead, proficient graduate teachers. I know that it is that time of year again, and I have been enjoying looking at pictures of your medals, of your certificates, of you receiving your highly accomplished certification, your lead certification, your renewal. Very well done, my friend. I am super proud of you, and I just want to send a moment of love your way and say thank you for all that you do. Now, if you haven't let me know already that I need to celebrate you, you know I love to celebrate, then I want you to head to edufolios.org/celebrate. That's edufolios.org/celebrate. Do it for yourself. Do it for one of your amazing colleagues. Let us know what we have to celebrate. I can give you a shout out in the podcast and lots more. So edufolios.org/celebrate, because we are here to celebrate all educators on a mission. Now, last episode, we spent some time looking at that mission. What is that mission? Why is it important to define it? And what can we do once we have got that defined? If you haven't tuned into the previous episode, please make sure you do. Head to edufolios.org/146 to find that episode and catch up. This week's episode is going to use what we did last week to create a situation where you no longer feel overwhelmed by all the tasks, all the things that you are being asked to do. I'm going to share 5 productivity hacks with you that all rely on you being really clear about your mission for term 3. Now, this week, we actually have a free download, a planner that you can use to have on your desk every week to help you reduce the overwhelm. So if you want a copy of that, just head to the show notes at edufolios.org/147. It includes a space for you to write your mission and the steps that I describe in this episode, as well as a planner you can use daily, weekly, termly, whatever you fancy, to make sure that you never feel that overwhelm again. How does that sound? Pretty good, right? Okay, so hopefully you have your mission defined, and maybe you have it in front of you, maybe you have it in front of mind. I hope that you commented it below the YouTube video or shared it with us on socials. Thank you if you did. Such good stuff. Cannot wait for term 3. I'm getting excited for the energies already. Now, with that mission in mind, we are going to be very mindful about the to-do lists that appear every day, every minute, and seem to never end. We're going to really find some strategies today to look at that to-do list, recognize it really isn't a to-do list. It's mostly, for me anyway, a bit of a panic. I'm going to do this and this and this and this till I feel overwhelmed. And learn how we can use our mission to prioritize what's on that list, to delegate jobs. Yes, I did say delegate. You can do that. And to say no. Now, we talked a little bit about this last episode, saying no or reframing what we have to do. All of that and more in today's episode. So without further ado, let's share these 5 productivity tips. The first tip I want to share with you is this. You need to choose to say yes to your mission. Remember, we talked about how sometimes we have to say no so we can say yes to achieving our mission, our goal. So the first thing we're going to do is make a conscious choice to say yes and to protect some time for that. Now, on your class timetable, I want you to have a look at your NIT or your free periods. And I want you to think about protecting, labeling one of those free periods as mission time, just once a week. Can you set aside 50 minutes, if that's however long your lesson is, for mission time? Now, you're going to have to fiercely protect that. When I talk about that in regards to myself, that means that Selena is not allowed to wander to the staff room and spend half of that time making a coffee and getting a cake and having a casual conversation and resting. Now, I need to rest, but I also need to get on with my mission. And if we increase our productivity, if we remember to stay on mission, we will feel less overwhelmed and we will feel more productive. So I need you to trust me, even though I know you're going to be tired. We're going to do this in term 3, right? You're going to have had time to recover. So in term 3, I want you to pick a free period or a NIT time, and I want you to dedicate that time as mission time. It's really important. You need to say yes to your mission, and you need to say no to anything else that is not mission, not emails to parents, not entering data, unless that's part of your mission, not having a cup of tea with your mates, not catching up with that behavior management issue. If that's a period where you know you're on call, it's not your mission period. Okay. And if you can talk to leadership about protecting that time, awesome. Share your mission with your leadership team and see if they can help you protect that time. So the first job is to find a time to say yes to your mission. Second is to think about when you work best. Now, this is different for everybody. You know, I'm reading the Donald Miller book, Hero on a Mission, and a lot of this is inspired by that. And Donald talks in there about our brain and the morning. Apparently, the research shows that first thing in the morning, our brain is wide awake and is burning calories, processing thoughts. And so it kind of stands to reason that the longer you wait to get on with these really important mission tasks, the less calories your brain has to burn. That's great, except I am awful in the morning. And I actually am far more productive in the afternoon. So I'm going to ask you to consider yourself as a beautiful, productive, focused human and think about when you work best. So as you're choosing your mission protected time, the time you are going to say yes, please, to your mission, I want you to consider when you work best. Now, for some of you, my husband would be one of these people, that would actually be even before my day had started. Are you one of my colleagues who gets to school really early and is already busy doing their tasks before 8 a.m.? Congratulations, I admire you greatly. Maybe your mission time is before school. Are you like me and you stay after school till 5 every night and then that's your deadline and you pick up the kids and off you go? But you know, after 5, it's time with the family and you don't take work home because you work for those 2 hours after school. Then awesome. Maybe mission time is after school on one of those evenings after school. Or maybe it's one of those free periods. For example, I'm thinking if I chose the free period after my really challenging class on a Friday afternoon, even if I know I am my best in the afternoon, I'm not going to be my best on a Friday after a challenging class am I? So I'm not going to pick that as my mission time. So number 2 is to think carefully about when you are at your best. So you've said yes to mission time. You've said yes to your mission. Now you need to pick when your brain is at its best and can focus on those mission tasks. Sounds good so far, right? The third thing is how you're going to protect mission time. Now, we've already mentioned that you can tell your leadership team, that's my mission time, dude. Can you help me with this? Please do that. And if you are a leadership team and you want to think about implementing this as a project to help with productivity, help with teacher well-being, or you want to do this with your kids even, the same methodology you could apply with your kids, I want you to think about practicing saying no. Now, we can't always say no if there's something coming up, but if we've planned ahead, we've shared with leadership, and something comes up, like a mate needs something right now, you can say, not now, this is mission time. You can say no to that coffee, or you could ask someone to bring you a coffee if you need it. All right. I want you to think about protecting that mission time. I also want to acknowledge that sometimes there are times of the year when mission time is going to be under threat. For example, the end of term 2, doing your data entry and your reports is a classic one. Parents' evening, you've been on a trip all day. If that happens, you need to choose to move mission time to another slot, or you can start to be really clever and reframe the thing you are saying yes to. So, for example, if my mission involves, remember we talked last week about increasing reading grades for my students, and I have to write reports this week, and there's just no way, I'm going to have to sacrifice mission time. I'm just not getting those reports done. Can you use mission time to focus on the reports around reading? Can you use mission time to help you connect the dots? So the bit of the report you're writing is actually also feeding back into your mission. Can you reframe it? You know, if you are being asked, your mission that you've chosen is to write a reflection and you need to do your reports. Let's just keep with the same analogy. Can you reserve a bit of mission time to reflect on the report writing process, or to make notes in your planner as you're writing your reports around patterns that you're identifying and seeing that you want to reflect on later? Is there a way to reframe the thing you have to say yes to back to your mission? Now, why would you do that? Here's why. Remember, a mission is a focus. A character in a story that everyone wants to be a part of is on that mission. And remember, we talked about an author choosing what to leave out and what to put in. What happens to you and your brain when you start doing so many things that you've forgotten your mission is that you feel overwhelmed because you're not really sure where you're going, why you're going there, and your brain is just confused. You're lost. So if you do find yourself in a position where you have to say yes to something that feels a little bit misaligned to mission, I want you to see if you can find a way to bring that back to your focus of mission so that it doesn't feel like another thing you've got to do that is pulling you away from your goal. See if you can reframe that and bring that back to your mission. It's not easy. It's kind of why I ended up creating Edufolios. It's the same thing. It's what I do all the time. Reframing things so that they connect back to our passion and our mission. So that is the next one, saying no or reframing. Number 4 is understanding that there are ways to be effective with to-do lists, and there are to-do lists that just feed into that overwhelm. Can you relate to the never-ending list that never seems to stop, that makes you want to fall on your knees and cry? I'm laughing, but it's not really funny. I really can. I have a brain that is going to fill my head with stuff, overwhelm me, and not let me move forward. Look, if you're a neurodiverse educator, you will totally understand. But neurodiversity or not, the to-do list that never ends is not really a to-do list. And with our mission, you now have the opportunity to get that to-do list to focus to. So what you're going to do is this. You're going to grab a piece of paper and a pen or a whiteboard or whatever you feel comfortable writing on, and you're going to empty your head of all of the things that you feel are really urgent right now. So that could be planning, marking, emailing that parent, organizing that trip, checking that policy, meeting with that colleague, organizing the payment from the university for last year's pre-service teacher, the photocopying, the displays on the wall, what else? Cleaning the bookshelf, all sorts of things. What is it that you have decided right now has to be done immediately? Has to be done immediately. Just vomit it all out onto the page. Why? Because we're going to use the mission to clarify what on this to-do list we are going to prioritize, what on this to-do list we might be able to delegate, and what on this to-do list will come as a secondary item. When we do that, our brain starts to sort through the list. We know that things are going to get done, but they're not going to get done in the wrong order. So here's what I mean by that. Remember what I said about our brain burning calories as we go. What we want to achieve is mission. We've selected our mission time, and we're going to dedicate that time to the mission. So we're going to get our huge to-do list, and we're not going to tell our brain to ignore things because that makes us anxious and worry. And remember, we're avoiding all of those emotions. We're allowing ourselves to process this. So we're going to look at that list, and we're going to look at it alongside our mission. And we're going to ask the question, which ones of these things on this list are going to help me get closer to achieving my goal? Now, sometimes, like I say, you'll have to reframe a few things. My report writing, is that going to help me get to the goal? Well, maybe it will if I do this with it, right? That gives you the opportunity. What you're doing here is giving yourself some space to reflect on the list against your mission. Now, if you've got a 50-minute free period or NIT, you need to be mindful that you can't achieve 4 hours of work. That's really not helpful. So if you're looking at something that feels really chunky, like I need to write an evidence set for HA, you're not going to do that in 50 minutes. Really not. You might have a draft. You might have picked some artifacts. All right. You need to break that one down first. All right. And you need to then decide which bits of that you're going to do in your mission for this week and which of those you're going to do in your mission for next week. You're going to break it down. But you're going to feel really clear that you are on a path, that you are getting things done, and that you are very, very focused on getting where you need to go. There's a reason for doing these things. Now, we call the things that align really beautifully with our mission our primary tasks. Our primary tasks. And in the freebie that you can download at edufolios.org/147, the very last page has space for you to write your mission and write 2 primary tasks, because I don't think you can do more than that in one free period. But, go crazy if you think you can. 1 is probably enough. What is the primary task for mission time? And why is it in that box? It'll be in that box because it helps you meet the goal that you defined in your mission. So what happens to all the other stuff, the secondary tasks? Well, that's what they're called, secondary tasks. They're not the things that are going to help you get to your mission right now. So you're going to write them in the secondary tasks box, and you're only going to start to tackle them in mission time if you complete the primary task. Does that make sense? So it's also going to give you an opportunity to really look at that list. If there are things there like cleaning my bookshelf, pulling off the paper on my displays, laminating things, I know I love that stuff. It distracts me from the things where I actually have to think. I'm being really honest here. All right. I love laminating. My husband calls it happy teacher noises. I love making card sorts and laminating them. Not awesome for the environment, mind. Did I really need to spend an hour laminating them? Really? I'll tell myself it's so I can use them every year, and then I'll lose them and make them again next year anyway because I changed it. Right. So if I make this list, I look at my mission, I can start evaluating the things that aren't actually helping me. They're distracting me. They are distractions. I can also look for things that I can delegate. So is there someone who can do that photocopying for you? Can you ask the kids to stay in at break and pull the display down for you? They love doing things like that. Can you ask the kids to come in at break and help you in the classroom? There's usually one or two kids that don't want to go outside. Have you got those lovely stragglers who love to hang out with you? I always do. Yes, you got to kick them out sometimes. That's very important. And I'm not at all saying that slave labor is awesome, but there are some kids who would really value that extra time with you. There are also some kids who would genuinely love a break from all the complications of society outside in the playground. Think about how you can use your community to support you. We've talked about parents and carers. Could you ask for a parent to come and help? There are lots of ways. We often complain about the tasks that we do that don't feel like part of our job, but maybe we've forgotten to say no. Maybe we've forgotten to have a conversation with leadership about ways in which we can support teachers in our community. So leaders, if you've got a teacher working through this, if you choose to do this, is there something you can do? Are there tasks that you can define that, maybe go on the secondary tasks list and somebody else could maybe take those jobs? That's a bit radical, isn't it? All right. But by evaluating the list, you are going to choose to prioritize the things that keep you on mission and don't overwhelm you. You're also going to choose to remove some things because they're not necessary. And you're going to choose to delegate some things because you realize that you do not need a degree in teaching to complete these jobs. And there are other people around you who would be beautifully happy to support you, would be very happy to support you. Okay, so you can see how already just this evaluation process against the mission starts to focus you and to help you avoid the overwhelm. Now, I have been using this technique myself for about a week in Edufolios. And my goodness, do I seem to be getting things done so much faster. I have to tell you that I am on top of everything in a way I haven't been for a little while. I'm really razor sharp focused on my mission for you guys. And I'm making sure that everything I do in the morning is aligned to my primary focuses. I'm trying to follow Donald's thing, we'll see. And that in the afternoon, I run through my secondary tasks. Now, it's easy for me. I don't have at the moment year 9 for an hour, then year 9, then 10. I don't have a timetable where I have to fit things in like that. But I have actually now blocked my calendar to different tasks. So I have blocked an hour for primary task 1, an hour for primary task 2. I can make myself a timetable for Edufolios. It's really cool. All right. So I'm encouraging you to give this a go. Try it for the first 4 weeks, say, of term 3 and see what happens. Start planning to do this now. You can do that by going and grabbing the freebie at edufolios.org/147. It will walk you through the steps that I've just said, those 5 productivity hacks, which were, remember, number 1, define your mission. Number 2, get clear about when is mission time. Number 3, stop and pause. Think about when you are most productive. Number 4, brain dump all of those things that you have in your head on the to-do list. No. That's not a to-do list. That's why it's never ending, because it's actually a kind of, for me anyway, it's a kind of panic response. And half the stuff on there isn't actually stuff I have to do. Number 4, evaluate that list. Divide things up. Make sure that you are clear which things on that list are getting you closer to your mission and keeping you on task, which things on that list you can delegate, and which things on that list you can remove, my friend. Woohoo! And that means number 5, splitting things into primary and secondary tasks and committing to saying yes during mission time. And we talked a bit about how you can do that. That's it. Those are the 5 productivity hacks. Grab the freebie, give it a go, and let me know what the difference is for you. 4 weeks in, let's check in and let's see how you are feeling. Now, I also want you to know that we are getting close to opening the doors again for the second cohort of the evidence engine. So waitlisters, that time is coming again for you to get to make that choice. I've had a few of you reach out. We're going to be opening the doors in about a month or so. If you're not on the waitlist, I want you to head to edufolios.org/waitlist to get more information so that you are the first to know when we run the webinars, you are the first to know when the doors open, and you do not miss out. I cannot wait to start sharing the stories of our April cohort with you. I've just awarded one of them a $100 Amazon gift card for being the one who was able to demonstrate the biggest change or the biggest impact in their practice. It was amazing. It reduced me to tears. It's such an honor to work with every single person who walks through the door of Evidence Engine. So thank you to everyone who has already done that. And thank you to all of you who will be our future students for the next cohort. You can get on the list at edufolios.org/waitlist. So many awesome links today. So if you're worried about remembering them all, just remember the one, edufolios.org/147, and I'll pop all the other links on there for you. That's it for this week. I hope you are having a wonderful break and a great holiday. Thank you for choosing to spend some of that time with me today. I will see you this time next week for the Reflective Teacher Podcast. Take care.